yesterday. There was sun and there was rain. Beauty in the Monday.
Hello, welcome back to Life in Midwife. Katie and I are going to make little sock dollies. So I'm doing them in the leprechaun colors. And then we're going to gift them to a little girl that'll remain nameless until I give them. Only because I know her Nana watches.
So we've now identified who it is.
I just, Okay. So let's get you down here so I have
Old
got
school vintage needles.
No kidding. So I've got a couple of my things cut out so that we can show you where. So I was going to say recipe. The instructions
The pattern. That's okay. I struggle with recipe and directions and pattern and use the wrong one all the time.
Yeah.
So I know exactly where your brain is coming from.
Anyways, it showed like a higher sock opposed to the ankle socks.
I think it may have been using a toddler sock versus an adult sock.
Exactly. So this part of the sock was supposed to be made into a hat. So what we've done instead is I have cut the toe off of the second sock and made it into a hat. So, you want to...
So, Kelly has the trees as the body of her doll. So I'm going to use the trees as my hat so that the dolls have different body colorings. So, in the case of our stripy sock, I'm going to go right along the top of the heel color patch and probably cut right along this white line. That will then provide me the cuff for my hat, which will be the toe from the tree sock. So this is Kelly's favorite sound, is fabric scissors cutting.
Oh, she's got such beautiful scissors. And they just sound so nice.
So then I have the body of my sock. I'm going to flip it inside out and then flatten it to where the body seam, the center, what used to be the top when it was folded, is now in half.
And I've got mine cut already, so this you can see where this will be the legs of the little dolly.
How far in did you cut?
I don't know. I just kind of...
I'm the precision one on sewing activities.
Yes, she is.
Because I don't want my legs to be disproportionate to my doll.
So I'm just going to sew
And I'm going
up.
to make a slice to about right there, I think.
Next time you cut, we're going to make it an ASMR. We're going to go, shh, and let her hear the scissors.
And then on the sock that's going to become my hat, I'm looking to cut off the toe. So I'm going to come and cut probably about halfway through my trees, I think. How far down did you go on yours?
I don't know, I just did it.
So I have a top piece, and this will become my cuff. So I'm going to flip my hat inside out. And then going to slide my cuff right in there so that the right side of my outer hat and the right side of my band are together. Because then when you flip it inside right, you will have a solid piece. So we have taken thread on a needle, and you're just going to start somewhere along your band. I'm going to start about 1/4 of an inch down and just do running stitches of about 1/4 inch long.
Yeah,
You did a running stitch? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what this one is called.
I'm not on this one. I'm doing that knot, whatever, like the,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're doing like you have to do on the around a cat badge for work?
Yeah. Because if it's knotted, then it a little more sturdy here. And yes, I'm using way too big of a needle, but that's just because of the arthritis in my hands. It just means that I can't use as much of the thread even though, but I'm gonna have to switch needles. Yeah, I'm gonna get a bit of a shorter needle. I love this packaging, just love it. Let's see.
Someone gave me a sewing basket and those needles were in it.
My fingers won't work. Could you get me a smaller needle, please?
Okay.
Thank you. Sure. Now I gotta thread the thing. And I have bifocals. Oh boy. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go and finish sewing up these legs. And
I stitched up around my hat. I just need to cuff it off or like lock off the thread.
yeah. So once we get these legs done, we'll bring you back.
So now that I have stitched up, I think it's called a barrel stitch to go along the edge here. I'm going to flip my sock inside out, pressing out each of the legs as they are. And then just press out your tips as best you can. So I'm just putting it on my fingers like a glove, since these are little legs. So then I have the body of mine, and the next step is to take stuffing of your choice and style and fiber content, and start by pressing a bunch down into that leg.
And so I'm at that point. So I've got it like this. And now I'm just doing a running stitch all the way around here. And then I will be like puckering it, I guess would be the
Gathering
word.
it.
Gathering it, puckering it, whatever. Maybe it needs to be puckered. Maybe it needs a kiss. And I can't tell you how many times I've actually poked myself with this stupid needle.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yep. Katie went to put the bag of stuffing on the chair, but Brode's sleeping in that chair.
He almost got a bag of stuffing on top of him.
I'm thinking I'm going to want just a bit more. Yeah. Can I have some of this?
So when you start your running stitch after you've stuffed your doll, start your thread from the inside, because then your knot from your thread will be hidden. And then sometimes you have to tie a bigger knot or do a looped knot because it likes to create a hole just large enough to stick itself through.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've doubled over my thread, I'm just gonna...
Okay. There we go.
And it may seem like you don't have enough thread, but that's okay, because once you gather everything together, it's a very small circle of thread that you're actually going to need.
Okay. Now I've got that.
I can add more, and you can add more batting as you go or whenever you deem it necessary.
I think I still need more batting.
And it's okay if a bunch of the batting looks like it's going to be sticking out of the face area, because
It's not.
this area will actually be under the hat when we get it all tightened up.
May I?
Yep.
I just can't reach the bag. All right, so
So I'm going to have to stuff more in mine.
just thinking I need it longer. The arms are kind of going to be... I'm actually going to redesign the arms, and I'm going to show you a different... We're not going to do the arms the way that we saw. I'm gonna show you. When we get to that point. Okay. I'm just gonna finish off this hole, and then we're gonna do Some little finagling here. So I decided to cut my hat in half because it was looking a little too big.
And I did the alternative solution for some, is that mine was too tall as well, so I went in and I stitched a bunch more and then trimmed off a bunch of fabric, so now I have a much shorter hat. So mine will kind of look like a floppy beret.
And mine looks like a pokey hat. I think it's cute. And I'm just going to put a couple stitches just to...
So now for what needs to be done is you need to stitch all the way around the hat and ensuring that you cover up the back area where the stuffing is in the head. So I'm going to start stitching at the very back base so that I'm sure I cover up that spot. And then that lets me adjust the front to wherever I want it to be. But making sure that I leave space for eyeballs and a mouth. And I need more thread.
Yeah. Except for I only used what thread was on my needle, and it's not enough. So I will knot it at the back. Oh, and for to make the head, now I think you put your thread, but I just put one of these hair things around the neck, which I was going to do anyway.
Yeah. So I ran, as I finished gathering the back of my head, I took the leftover string and wrapped it around the neck and pulled tight. So that gave me some definition of that. But then I can also put a band around it.
Just for decorative.
For decorative sake and to cover up my string if it was to show. I'm just struggling to get it just square enough.
All right, let's start this again.
And as you're stitching around the hat, you want to make sure that you're also getting through the head piece underneath. Mm-hmm. So you're not just...
Yep. Okay.
So I'm making a very small stitch that's visible on the top, but as I'm coming up on the out, I'm going like about 3/8 of an inch down on each stitch,
And
so
I
that
just-
I have very little of the actual stitching showing on mine.
And I have 2 stitches right there that are showing. Everything else is underneath. Yeah. Then I'm thinking.
So it all depends on how well your thread coordinates and how you wish it to look.
Then I've got some buttons here that I'm trying to decide to put on the top. I think that one look. Yeah. I'm gonna put a button on the top of his hat. Oh, that's cute. Okay. With the arthritis in my hands, hand sewing is getting harder and harder, but all right.
So there, my hat is stitched on,
So cute.
and I have a tail of thread that I need to hide.
Now I'm not sure how to put these eyeballs on.
So are you trying to figure out how to hide your threads?
I think I've got it.
Okay.
I think. Yep. Yep. I think it's.
Because I loop through the back of mine and then run my needle through that loop that I've created. Although, it really helps if I've tied the thread off before I start doing that. Oops. I'm human too. Most days.
I think I figured it out.
So, now that I've run my eyeball on there, I go between my threads and cinch it up. So now the back of all of my thread is right inside the back there.
We're just going to use some pink thread or something to make a mouth, or
Something like that.
yeah.
And the nice part is for the second eye, you can run underneath.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, that's what I did. It just ran right underneath and there we go. Now, I'm not sure how to do the arms. We will get to that. But I am going to, I got this heart-shaped button, and I am going to put that on him because I think it's cute. Him, her, whatever.
It. Them. So one way to tie off your thread around is to take your thread as it's come through your eyeball, go around the back of it and come up through the loop you've created, and that will tie off your thread around a button. Because that is one place where people often struggle with, how do I tie something off around a round object?
Exactly.
And then you want to cut it as close to the eyeball or to the button as possible without cutting your fabric. So then I've chosen some buttons for down the front. I think I'm actually going to only put 2 on.
Oh, yeah.
3 would be too weird.
Yep.
And so far you've done okay threading your needle.
Oh, my hands are starting to hurt. Yeah.
Luckily there shouldn't be, there's just the arms for sewing left.
Yeah. Right. Now I think Katie and I are going to do our arms in 2 different ways. Have you decided?
I'm going to do the way they were in the original recipe.
I am going to make...
Since there's extra socks around.
Yeah. Trying to decide if I want to do this or this.
So on a standard button, you can do the same tie-off mechanism you did on the round button.
So I'm going to just make like tubes and then tie them on as the little arms. Put a little stuffing in them. So we'll do 2 different looks and see how they go. All right, so I'm going to finish sewing these up. And
I'm still working on buttons.
yeah, and then we'll bring you back. I want to do for a change.
Yep.
All right. My little dolly is really not proportioned properly, but it's okay. I think she's cute anyway. And so just got little arms stuffed and I'm just sewing them on. Katie's doing her arms a little differently. Ow.
Needles are sharp. So what I'm going to do for my arms is I am going to basically section off a portion and just stitch a line from a little below the neck. So basically for me, between the two white lines on either side.
And the little girl that's going to get these, she's just going to love them, so it's not going to matter. And like I said to Katie, this kind of stuff isn't my forte, but I've enjoyed doing it. Like, it's just something fun to do.
So mine will kind of look like it has its fingers stuck in its pockets.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Oh, I know what I'm going to look. That makes it look cuter.
You gonna stitch them forward?
Yeah. When you said that, I thought, oh, wait a minute. So I'll show you in a sec. So I'm going to stitch them together like that.
So I've stitched one arm in there, and as I go over to the other side, I'm just going to go straight through all of my stuffing so that I'm not having to knot off another section of thread. And it helps me keep my arms at about the same height.
Oh, this works better. Yeah. And then we just have to do a mouth. And I'm wondering, there, I made his head a little bigger. Oh boy. Could you pass me those?
I'm just trying to find the magical way to knot this off when I don't have enough spare thread. Like, what stitch can I run it under? Ow. It's sharp.
I'll think of something, but all right.
So there we go, my little guy's arms.
Yote.
Not quite as symmetrical as I would wish, but
That's okay.
they're close. So then we need to do a mouth.
Let's see. I don't know.
Brody, that's not for you. I know, life is tough.
I think I managed to do this. Okay, so
Brody.
Do you keep looking at your stuff?
No, your bag of stuff.
Oh.
I feel like I didn't quite get it.
Brody, you don't need to be talking to people out there. Must be working on the house across the street because there was some trucks out there and he was like, "You're not supposed to be here." Brody.
Are you pretending to be a motor?
Sound effects for our video. Since we're just sitting here sewing away. Oh! I'm trying to rethread my needle. Got it. Of course you come unthreaded again, didn't you? There we go. You're so vicious, Brody. Not really, but okay. There.
Hey, Brody. Go check the back door, buddy.
Is Daddy home?
I heard somebody's door.
Okay. There's my little sock dolly. Katie's got hers going there too.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hide a thread right now. There's my
There
little
you
guy.
go. So, that was a fun thing to make, just for something different. All right, we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.